Today I'm racing my half marathon in Nike's Supershoe, the Nike Alphafly Next 3.
We're here at the start of the Brooklyn Half Marathon. Today, my goal is to set a new PB on the half marathon. I've actually never ran a fast half, so the goal is we go sub 125 or die in the Alphaflys. So these are version 3. This is one of the fastest shoes in the world. Kelvin Kiptum, RIP, set a world record in the Chicago Marathon in these shoes. Today, they should help me a ton to accomplish this race a lot faster. At the end of the day, sub 125 is gonna be the goal. We're gonna product test these things.
This is the world's fastest shoe, and records have been set by some of the fastest athletes in the world like Eliud Kipchoge and Kelvin Kiptum. They have broken world records in the marathon wearing these shoes. And the good news for me, I'm trying to race in them to set my personal best time in the half marathon. A half marathon is 13.1 miles long, and I've ran a ton of marathons over the past couple years, but honestly, I've never raced a half before. So this is gonna put these shoes to the test.
Here we go. 13.1 miles. Let's get it done, team.
The goal was to run this half marathon in 1 hour and 25 minutes. Let's break down my strategy for running the Brooklyn Half Marathon. My goal pace is 6:30 for 13.1 miles. So ultimately, my goal is to negative split this run, which means you get a little faster with every single mile. My personal challenge, which is kind of like a side quest, is I'd like to run my final mile under sub 6 minutes. We kicked off the race and I felt good in the initial miles going into Prospect Park. At this point, this was the first time I ever put on the Alphaflys on my feet. I actually never ran in these prior to running in the Brooklyn Half Marathon. The first mile, I was kind of getting into my pace and I ran a 6:42. So this is a little bit slower than the average pace I need to hold on to this half marathon. Mile 2, I ended up running a 6:19. So we balanced out roughly within the first 2 miles to average out at a 6:30 pace. Miles 3 and 4 were both a little bit downhill. Mile 3 I came in at 6:24, and then mile 4 I came in at 6:34. Now this is where we start to enter the end of Prospect Park, where we have a little bit of hills that we have to climb. So mile 5, I was still keeping on good pace at 6:33 per minute mile, and mile 6 was also a 6:33. My average pace within the first 6 miles was a 6:34, so I was slightly behind schedule from the pace I wanted to hold to hit a 125. Mile 7, we had a major downhill. I hit a 6:20 mile, and then I followed it up with a 6:08 for mile 8. Now granted, I knew that was a little quick, so I had to pull my speed back a little bit, and I averaged right around a 6:23 pace for the next few miles. The best thing about the Brooklyn Halves course is that after mile 7, the race is all pretty much a straight line and slightly downhill. So it's really conducive for you to kick it in gear and run fast. And with the combination of wearing Nike's Supershoe, the Alphaflys, it made this a lot easier. And with this being the first time I've ever raced a half marathon, I was still trying to figure out at what point do I really put the gas to the pedal and burn as much energy as possible to get me to the finish line. It was easy for me to settle into a new pace and hold on to it during this run. And I guess that's the power of wearing super shoes. It almost felt like these shoes were pushing me forward to hold on to the new pace. And honestly, I loved it. I felt the extra push from that carbon fiber plate in the super shoes. And as we got closer to the finish line, just like any runner, I also wanted to finish as fast as possible. The adrenaline was pumping and I could feel myself getting to the finish line. Now granted, I knew that was a little bit quick and I didn't want to burn out too much energy this early into the race. We were still a little bit over halfway through the race, so I had 5 more miles I had to complete, and I still wanted to make sure I can hit my side challenge of running the last mile at sub 6 minutes. So miles 9, I hit a 6:22, mile 10, I hit a 6:24, and my goal really at this point was to conserve as much energy as I can to make sure that we can have a really strong finish down to Coney Island. As you get closer to the finish of any race, you start to see familiar faces and people that are running similar paces as you. And when you get to those packs, it's nice to just have a group of people that you can run with and keep a steady pace. And there's a couple people around me that were running similar paces. Mile 11, I hit a 6:24 pace, and I knew we were gonna be really close to hitting our goal of running 125, but I had to hang on and make sure that I did not slow down on these last couple miles. The interesting thing for me is that I'm normally at races like this, and I'm always having a good time, high-fiving people, cheering up with the crowd, drinking beer sometimes. But this race, I was really focused and dialed in. I wanted to set a personal best time, and I wanted to run as fast as humanly possible, or at least as fast as I'm able to run. And on these last couple miles, especially going into mile 12, not many people are talking. All the runners are dialed in, they're locked in on their pace, they're trying to get to Coney Island, just like I am. And in those modes, you just kind of go quiet and you just try to keep putting one foot in front of the other and hold on to dear life to your pace. Mile 12, I was able to clock a 6:23 pace. And if I wanted to hit my side quest of running my final mile in under 6 minutes, I was gonna have to dig really deep because my legs were not feeling like running any faster. And when I have opportunities to race in a pair of Supershoes, one of the fastest shoes in the world, I have to give it everything I got. There's nothing like seeing the finish line at any race that you're accomplishing, whether it's a half, a full, a 10K, 5K, whatever the case may be. In this final push to Coney Island, mile 13, we hit a 6:06 pace. So we didn't hit our side quest of going under sub 6 minutes on mile 13. But we did finish strong, and we did hit our goal of going sub 125 at the Brooklyn half.
Here we go. Final 200 meters. Brooklyn half. Going sub 125.
Steven, Antonio, Ethan and Matt, Andrew, Eric, Adam, Brandon.
Here we go, come on. Right there.
I wish I
Finish
could
strong.
get every single runner's name out there.
You came close to it right there. Runners, you look fantastic. Excellent effort all the way through this morning, giving it everything you got and leaving it on the boardwalk here in front of this crowd. And again, continue right up the boardwalk into Maimonides Park. And a great spot to reunite with your family members that came to cheer you on.
All right, we just got done. We're in Coney Island right now. 13.1 miles. The Brooklyn half. New PB. Unofficial time. 1:24:28. We'll see what the actual big clocked in at, but I'm happy. New PB. What is this? 6:24 pace. We're out. We got Coney Island right here. Let's go. We're gonna go ride a roller coaster now. Peace. Look, the Alphaflys. No joke. First time wearing these shoes, and we hit a PB. We got to test run these in the marathon now and see if the Alphaflys are legit for the marathon. We're out. World's fastest shoes. Peace.